total gas. Who is he? And granted, I don't remember a single thing about it. And I feel like, you know, why characters can't have parents? You know what I mean? I don't even have the words to describe the genius of this series. I digress. Yes! Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you're new. If you are new, hey, hi, hello, my name is Ashton. Welcome to my book channel. I don't even know what I want to say. Every time I start filming, I never know what I'm going to say. I don't know what's going to come out my mouth today. I've been spending a lot of my energy on, I don't know, thinking about young adult dystopian books in particular, and a lot of my collection is that. And y'all, I just feel like that, I just feel that, you know, women. Anyway, I just feel like that I haven't taken a lot of opportunity on this channel to really like talk about books. I feel like I talk about books as an entity, but I feel like I don't talk about like specific books. So for my thesis work, I'm really focusing on like young adult literature, specifically like dystopian kind of literature, and with the dystopian renaissance occurring right now because of Sunrise on the Reaping by Suzanne Collins, I just thought that maybe we could take a moment and talk about some of these books. Also, today's drink of the day, so we just have an iced caramel latte, except there's no longer any ice in here because I am a chronic sipper. Also, this is a medium. I definitely meant to order a small, but I always get nervous ordering a small if I'm ordering an iced drink, because I had one person one time tell me that they couldn't do a small iced drink. I don't know how it works. I'm not a barista. Okay, so for today's video, I thought that we would do 3 categories: read, reread, and recommend. I'm gonna shoot for 3 to 5 series that I need to read, need to reread, or recommend to you guys to read. Going to start this video here with my TBR. What need I read in this moment? Okay, so the first thing on my list is a couple of things that I own here, which is City of Bones and City of Ashes. It's these covers. Sorry y'all, I feel so flushed right now. I do kind of feel like I'm gonna pass out, but we're gonna persist. I started City of Bones a while ago. Started reading this. It was giving like dystopian, kind of like urban, maybe urban fantasy is the way I would describe this. It was okay. I didn't make it very far into it. I think I was a little bit less than 100 pages into City of Bones before I learned that there was like an incestuous plot, and then I was like, oh, maybe I don't read this. But I've had somebody recommending me the Infernal Devices series, I think. And so I'm like, okay. I feel like Cassandra Clare is one of those authors where it's like, I personally can't do like, oh, I'll just read Infernal Devices. Oh, I'll just read whatever, like Clockwork. Oh wait, that is Infernal Devices. I feel like I have to read it all. So anyway, somebody told me that I would really like Will Herondale, which I think is in Infernal Devices. So here we are, folks. This is on my pretty far out TBR because I feel like this is like a big thing to take on, but who knows? We have the whole summer ahead of us. Maybe I get after it. I don't know. I also don't know the plot. So I wish I could tell you guys more about these books, but I clearly have no idea what I'm talking about other than like incest. So do with that what you will. So a little bit ago, I was going on this like tirade on my Bookstagram about the Natural series by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. If you guys don't know, I talk about JLB all the time. I love her. To reread my first Jennifer Lynn Barnes book again. Also, I just found out recently that she's got like this like back like catalog, whatever. What do you call it? Backlog of like wolf stories. They're on Kindle, so, and I have downloaded them. Listen, I'm not into like the alpha stories, but like if Jennifer Lynn Barnes wrote it, I do fear that I need to know what was up with that. Anyway, back to the plot here. So if you guys don't know, The Naturals is literally Criminal Minds, but teenagers. Every time I hear somebody describe it as that, by the way, I'm always like, oh, like that's kind of cringy. But then like when I actually read them, I'm like, oh, but it's kind of accurate. And it's not cringy, y'all. I swear, if you swear by the inheritance games, read The Naturals, because I swear that The Naturals is the best thing she's ever written. I swear on it, I swear on it, I swear on it. The first one was absolutely my favorite. I just loved it. Like, I was so obsessed with those characters, and I'm still so obsessed with those characters. So please, if you read the series, let me know, and let me know who your favorites are. My favorite is hands down, house down, Michael. I love him so much. I just like want to give him a hug. But it's got that clear, you know, Jennifer Lynn Barnes, like clever plot twisting, whatever, like, just, you know, you get to the fourth book and you're like forgetting names, like whatever. It's classic JLB, really. Anyway, so you're probably like, Ashton, well, you've already read Bad Blood. First of all, this is my friend's copy of Bad Blood because I read all of the books on my Kindle. Anyway, though, at the back of this one, which is what mine did not have, is the novella 12, which is, I think it's like all of the characters 12 years after? Yes, it's them 12 years after, I think. Yeah, it's just like a little novella, but my friend read it and said it was really, really good, and I haven't read it, so this is pretty high on my TBR, but it's something that I forget about often, so I just want to make it official right here, right now. I need to read this, also because I need to get my friend her book back, so. Okay. Next thing, y'all, I have been literally crawling in my skin to tell you about this book. Okay. So this is Renegades by Marissa Meyer. And if you're like, Marissa Meyer, the Lunar Chronicles, Marissa Meyer, the Heartless, Marissa Meyer. Yeah. That author. Because I feel like this is her least talked about, like, set of books. Like, everybody knows about the Lunar Chronicles. And I feel like a lot of people know about Heartless. But not a lot of people talk about Renegades, Arch Enemies, and Supernova. So I'm here to tell you about it. I am calling for a Marissa Meyer renaissance. She is on a hiatus right now, starting like I think March 7th or something like that, to work on some upcoming book projects. If she has no fans, I'm dead. Renegades. Y'all, we need to have a moment. Okay, so I'm almost done with this book. I have about 80 pages left of Renegades, and then I haven't read the other two, which is why this is in my read category, okay? Y'all, I have never, you know, like when you're absolutely just eating, this is honestly how I felt about The Naturals, when you're just like absolutely eating that first book up and you're so excited that there's more in the series. That is exactly how I feel. I have not fangirled this hard in so long. It's been too long.
I love this book.
It's so gas. Let me tell you about it. Okay, so I've tried describing this book to several different people, and I honestly don't even know how to describe it. I'm gonna be honest, because I feel like every single detail is so important. So this is a story about, it's like a superhero story. So if you're not into superheroes, maybe you won't like it. It does kind of feel like a comic, but it also just feels like a young adult sci-fi book. Do with that what you will. It's like a young adult, like sci-fi fantasy, like superhero novel, which I think is so fun as opposed to like a comic, even though it has like a comic feel to it. Anyway, so basically there are superheroes named Renegades and there are supervillains named Anarchists, right? Okay, so the book follows a girl named Nova. Her family was killed when she was like a very young child. And basically, this is all in the prologue, but her family was killed because her father refused to make weapons for villain gangs anymore. Basically, they were supposed to be under the protection of the Renegades, but the Renegades didn't get there in time, and her entire family was killed by a villain gang, or a member, a hired person of a villain gang. Very, very sad, yes. So anyway, Nova is a prodigy. So a prodigy is somebody who has superpowers, okay? Or powers, I guess I should say. And they can either be a villain or a hero. But Nova's power is to make people go to sleep. Like if she touches them, she can make them go to sleep. And also, she never sleeps. She never has to sleep. She never sleeps. She survived this attack when she was a child because she was able to make the attacker go to sleep, right? So anyway, grown up, she's like 16 or 17, because of course. She is now joined up with the villains because she thinks that the Renegades are just too high on their horse. Like they swore to protect her family and they couldn't get it done. Like they are not trustworthy. They just do too much. Like they just, you know, because now they've saved the city of Gatlin from all of these like villains, right? Because there's been like this huge battle or whatever. They've saved the city. But now like the heroes are heroes, but they're also like lawmakers and teachers and doctors. It's like they basically run every aspect of the city. And Nova and the villains are just like, no girl. But all the villains are like dormant since this like battle because they clearly lost, right? So Nova's uncle, Ace Anarchy, was like the leader of the villains, right? So, I mean, it's not really that surprising that she would have joined up with them, but still. okay? The other character that we're following, his name is Adrian Everhart, okay? Y'all. So Adrian is clearly a renegade. He's a hero, okay? And he's a hero kind of by like association. He's kind of like a Nepo baby hero because his mom was a hero, but then also he was adopted and like his dads are heroes as well. So it's like, you know, and he is a prodigy. I tried to tell somebody about this, by the way, and they told me that his superpower was literally Doodle Bob. So do with that what you will. But basically, Adrian can draw things like with intent behind them and they will turn into objects, okay? So his name is Sketch. He's also taken on, though, this like secret identity called the Sentinel. And that is basically like he's wearing this suit, like nobody knows who he is. He is neither anarchist nor renegade, even though he says that he's fighting for the renegades. He does not have this clearance to be fighting for the renegades, right? So like everybody's kind of like, oh, who is he? You know? So anyway, the plot of this book, though, right, is that Nova and her alias is Nightmare. Nova, at the start of the book, basically tries to kill Captain Chromium, who is like the renegade, you know, there's like a council of like the original, like the OG renegades, and she tries to assassinate him basically to bring down the renegades, right? So the villains are obviously not dormant anymore. They are coming back and they're coming back with a vengeance and they're trying to literally just like take down the renegades, except everything in that plan just goes so horrible and awfully because she really can't commit to killing them because she's kind of having like this internal battle of like, but like, are the villains really the good guys? Like what does it mean to be a good guy? Like what does it mean to be a villain? Like, you know what I mean? So anyway, so she kind of blew it right there. But every year the renegades hold this like trial or whatever to get new renegades because they're expanding and expanding and expanding. So she decides that since her identity, she's the only villain who the world does not know her actual identity because she wears like a mask and everything. So they don't know her actual identity. She decides that she is going to try out for the renegades on behalf of like all of her like villain family. So anyway, so she tries out for the renegades so that she can infiltrate them basically from the inside out, okay? And I heard somebody describe this book as like their enemies, but only one of them knows they're enemies. And it's exactly that. Because Adrian spends all of the book looking for Nightmare. He is looking for Nightmare because he's been tracking down Nightmare as the Sentinel, like in his hidden secret identity. And so he's been looking for her, but what he doesn't know is that she's right under his nose the entire time because she's on his team. And that is basically where like this part of the book picks up. It's gas. It's honestly, it's gas. I'm not even gonna lie to you. It is so gas. Adrian reminds me so much of Miles Morales. So if you're into the Spider-Verse or even like Peter Parker, like if you're into Spider-Man, yes! It's just like the villain and the hero and all of the characters are so fun and the superpowers are so fun and the world is so immersive. Y'all, you have to get on it. Y'all, I'm just like, I'm ready for betrayal. I'm ready for hurt. I'm ready for love. Like, to be read, right? To be read. I do have 5 for this category. All right, number 4 is the Shatter Me series. So this is a little bit more for my thesis directly. So this is a YA dystopian which follows Juliet, who can kill people with her touch. And listen, I know everybody is like,
it's like Aaron Warner.
And like, yes, like I agree, Aaron Warner, but like I never made it that far in the book series because I think that he like really starts popping off in Ignite Me, which is the 3rd book, and I only read the first 2 books. And you're probably like, well, Ashton, that sounds like a reread to me. But since I didn't even make it halfway through the series, and this isn't even including the novellas, I fear that I'm going to call it a read to be read. I think that this is kind of like a staple in the YA like dystopian moment. And honestly, like, I just think it could be really informative. There's not a lot of scholarship on it, and I think that there should be. So maybe I get into it, you know what I mean? Because I feel like I'm on the outside of a joke, right? Because well, not a joke, but like, I just feel like I'm on the outside because I like don't get the Aaron Warner hype, you know? And like, we all want to pull for a blonde man sometimes, right? So if you don't know, I'm pretty sure that this is, which I'm pretty sure everybody knows but me, honestly, so I don't know why I'm telling y'all about it. Shatter Me, I think, follows Juliet, who can kill people with a touch, and she's been, like, locked up in jail for, like, so long, but, like, revolution, you know? And she's, like, supposed to be a weapon. So, yeah. A curse for true love. A curse for true. Is that what the first... Okay, I think that there's a video on my YouTube channel somewhere of me getting the name of this series wrong like several times in a row. And I fear that I still haven't learned. This is definitely Once Upon a Broken Heart. A Curse for True Love is the last one. So Once Upon a Broken Heart, I don't really know much about it, but what I do know is that there's like kind of a softer like main character, which I really, really am into. If you guys, I think I was telling you guys at some point about Powerful, which is the novella in Powerless, and it follows Adina. And I really, really, really loved that story because, I don't know, there's something compelling to me about the girl main character, whatever you want to call her, being somebody who is like a little bit, I don't know, just gentler. I don't know. Because I think that we get a lot of like strong like female main character and like they're all kind of like Katniss-esque. And I guess like I keep asking myself like, but what if they were sensitive, like super sensitive? Like what if they were very gentle people? Like maybe that doesn't work at all. Maybe it doesn't work at all. But part of me just kind of wants to know, like, could it? What does it look for somebody like me, I feel like, to do this? If this were in terms of Little Women, I feel like Jo March would be like kind of the typical, but what would it mean for somebody like Meg March to get out here and be the face of the revolution? Or Beth to be the face of the revolution? You know what I mean? Anyway, I don't think there's a revolution in this book. I actually don't really know much about this book, but I know that there's a love triangle. And y'all know I am a love triangle defender. I'm a love triangle enthusiast. Y'all know this about me. I adore them, whatever. Sue me, I know. And then again, Evangeline, from what I understand, is a little bit more of like a sentimental, kind of sensitive, tender-hearted, gentle main character. So that's something I'm really intrigued by with this series. And I did read Caraval, and I know that Jax is in it, so... And I did enjoy Jax in Caraval, although I know a lot of people were pulling for Jax. I was personally a Legend girl myself, so can't relate. But okay, so those are my 5 to be read. Let's go into my 5 rereads. So number 1 on my list is The Hunger Games. So if you guys watched, I had a video on this channel recently where I was talking about that I was rereading The Hunger Games. I've only made it back into the first one. So I still have 2 more, and then of course I also want to reread Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, which is the prequel. And then you guys know Sunrise on the Reaping just came out, and I haven't given it a read yet. I'm kind of waiting until I can get done with the school, like the semester, to then like really give it my full attention. I'm not going to go into the plot of The Hunger Games because honestly, y'all, I have never in my life seen a renaissance of bookstores like I did when Sunrise on the Reaping came out. I've never seen anything like it. It was literally like people were lined up. Like it was insane. And I went like 3 or 4 days after the book came out. So not even release day. I went and it was like they were consistently restocking the table. Every person I passed in the bookstore had a copy in their hands. Like everyone, that was what they were talking about when they came into the store. Like it was incredible. Honestly, it was moving to see that many people like reading and interested in a young adult novel. But I digress. So that I'm not going to go into what The Hunger Games is about because it seems like society already knows, right? Okay. But if you guys haven't given this a reread since you were younger, you absolutely, absolutely, absolutely have to. I am so intrigued by like questions of like morality and justice, like Katniss's moral compass and like justice within the books. And I'm also just deeply, deeply intrigued by like, what does it mean that like we're having teenagers like play up this like romance? Like, oh, I talk about this more in another video, so I won't get too into it, but y'all, if you haven't given it a reread, you absolutely need to, and I need to finish rereading the series myself. So second on my reread list is Divine Rivals. I didn't really know if I should put this on the read list or the reread list, but because I read around half or over half of this second book, I decided to put it on my reread list. So as you guys might know, I never finished Ruthless Vows, but if you remember from my Bookstagram, when I read Divine Rivals, I made it everyone else's problem. Trust. Do you guys remember this? I like gave a review and I was like, this is the best book I've literally ever read. Granted, I don't remember a single thing about it. I know it's like a completely made up world, but it feels like a historical fantasy. There's dual point of view. There's like a Narnia thing going on with a wardrobe. And I don't really remember anything else. I did have a critique, like somebody told me though that like the world building isn't super strong and the magic system isn't that complex, so do with that what you will. But I will let you guys know when I reread it, because I never finished Ruthless Vows and I thought the writing of this was just something spectacular. All right, next. So last on my list of rereads is Legendborn by Tracy Deonn. So as you guys can see here, I don't have Legendborn with me. I thought I had 2 copies. I definitely don't. And I lent my copy to a friend of mine to read it because the series is so good. So Oathbound just came out. And if you watched my anticipated releases of the year video, you would see that I was like literally gushing about this book. This is the 3rd one. There's supposed to be 4. I don't know when the 4th one's coming out. This series, the magic system is so complex that like you kind of have to reread it. I don't know, maybe that's just me, but like I have to reread this to understand, to go into this 3rd one. Let it be known, I am so excited. I am so excited. If Tracy Deonn has no fans, I'm dead. Because this is gas, bro. This is so good. So, oh my gosh, this is blood marked. The sprayed edges, I'm dead. Okay. Legendborn is, it's like I don't even have the words to describe the genius of this series. The representation in this series is literally next level. I don't even know how to describe it because it's been so long since I've read it, and like I don't want to, you know, misrepresent it, but like from what I remember, it follows a girl named Bree. She's at an early college program at UNC. And she starts seeing like demons, I think, and like interacting with a secret society at the school. And the secret society at the school just like may or may not be like descendants of Arthur, like descendants of the Knights of the Round Table, like Arthurian legend vibes. Bree's such an awesome female main character. Like she's such an awesome main character in general. Like she's so awesome and she's so strong and just like cool. She's so cool. All the characters are so cool. I want to like throw up. But yeah, it's literally her, like, trying to kind of figure out more about her mother's death, because she is, after all, she is a YA protagonist, and I feel like, you know, YA characters can't have parents, you know what I mean? Because she's trying to find out more about her mother's death, and she kind of, like, gets into this group thinking that it's gonna, like, tell her more about it, and, yeah, it's just, like, her interacting with Arthurian legend, and also root magic. Oh my gosh, it's so good. There's honestly, I really could talk about it forever, but it's also kind of hard to talk about it without giving stuff away because like, you know, I'll hype it up, but I don't want to like, you know, I feel like you have to experience it for yourself type of thing. I don't know. Anyway, it's so good, y'all. It is on my reread list though, because I feel like I honestly just can't give Oathbound like an honest try until I reread them, because there's so much that goes on. Like my friend even rereading them was telling me, and I was like, oh wow, I literally don't remember who that character is because I have the worst memory of all time when it comes to books. Okay everybody, so that was me giving you guys basically my TBR. I don't know, my like YA dystopian fantasy sci-fi TBR, which is made up of things to be read or reread. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. I know I enjoyed just kind of like sitting down and finally just kind of talking about books, like just talking about books, you know, because that's really like my passion. Like I love to do it, and I feel like I don't spend enough time on this channel like talking about specific books. I feel like I talk about books a lot in general, but not like specific books. I feel like I'm always trying to keep it like super concise, kind of short, do this, do that, but like I just want to fangirl sometimes, you know what I mean? And also like I want to do like, oh, like a review here, or like really get into a series here or whatever, and I feel like it's more of like a video essay, and I feel like I really have to like prepare that, and I just don't have the time on my hands right now to prepare like a really well thought out, like scripted almost video essay. So I just thought like this would be kind of like maybe not the best structure, but this is definitely just a way that I can sit down and talk to you guys about some of the books I'm loving, some of the books I'm anticipating. It's just stuff I want to read, just books, bro. If this is your first time seeing my face, please subscribe to the channel. I love having you guys around. It honestly, I love it. I love it. Feel free to subscribe to the channel. I make new videos every single week. They come mostly every single week unless like I really am behind on schoolwork. They usually come out on Sundays. I'm trying to push that to Saturday, but honestly, it's just a little bit more obtainable for me to upload on Sundays because I usually spend my Saturday to edit these videos. If you guys want to see more of me or see me more frequently, I've been super active on my Bookstagram lately, so you can find me at Ashton by Books on Instagram. I love uploading just like the silliest like reels on there for you guys. Yeah, I think that's all. So yes, subscribe, like, comment, whatever the vibes are, and go find me on there. You can also find me on other social media like Fable and stuff like that in my link below, and I will see you guys whenever I see you. Love you so much. Bye. Mwah.